Hey there, thank you for watching my channel. Today I want to show you how you can crochet around fabric. And here I used jeans fabric with jeans that are not used anymore. My kids well, do fall holes in their knees, so I cut the part of where the hole is, and I just make an edge around the jeans so that we can use it as a shorts. So the cut off piece of jeans I can use for upcycle things, and I thought it would be nice to crochet around it. So this is just old jeans, and I'm using my sewing machine, but you can also make it by hand, and you need 2 pieces of fabric so it won't fray around the edges. And you can use stretch jeans, but what I suggest is I have here a stretch jeans which I wanted to see if the borders are nice, so I made a swatch. And this is stretch jeans. This is stretched in this way, and the other part is stretched this way. So if you have stretch jeans, make sure that one piece is stretched this way and the back is then stretched this way, so your piece of fabric won't stretch as much as you are making your crocheted edge around it. And well, that's what I wanted to explain. So well, what you need is just your fabric, or jeans, or any other fabric. Cotton fabric will be nice too. And then you need a darning needle, and I found out that I really need to use a sharp needle to put the yarn through my fabric. So the darning needle is too blunt, and I don't go through my fabric because it's 2 pieces of fabric. And you got your crochet yarn. I use cotton yarn, and I've got a crochet hook 2.5 millimeters for this one. So I'm gonna teach you how you can sew your squares, how you can attach this piece over here. You can see that you need to crochet in this yarn, so I'm going to show you how you can make that. And then I just used one kind of stitch. I use double crochets with the chain 1, but you can use any stitch you want on the edge of your fabric. You can also make it bigger, but I'm going to show you just this one, and in the end I'm going to show you how you can attach it. There are multiple ways of doing it, but I show you a different way which I have not shown in any other video. I made a cardigan, I guess, and I'm going to show in that cardigan how you attach 2 sides of, well, I made 2 pieces of fabric with my crochet yarn, and then I attached it, so you can see over there how you can attach it too. But I'm going to show you how you can attach it in a zigzag way. So this is what I'm going to show you in this video, so I hope you like it and crochet along with me. Okay, I've got 2 squares of jeans. Those are old jeans which I'm going to recycle, and I cut 10 by 10 centimeters square. And this is a non-stretch fabric, but if you use stretch jeans or stretch fabric, then the best you can do is to put them well, the grains like this, and let's say there's a stretch in this way, then put one piece of fabric with the stretch this way, and if the stretch is here, then put it like this. So one piece is stretched like this, and one piece of fabric with a stretch like this. So there's minimal stretch then when your piece is done, when you sew it together. So these pieces are not stretched, so I'm going to put the right sides on top of each other, and then I'm going to use some pins to secure it. And you need to leave a gap, so I'm going to pin it like here, and a pin over here, so that I know that I do not sew in this part over here. So just pin your pieces of fabric before you're going to sew it together. You can hand sew it, or you can use your sewing machine. And I've got a sewing machine, so I'm going to show you how I sew it together, but if you do it by hand then it's just the same. So pin everything together, and then I've got my sewing machine. It's a very old one, but it still works. Okay, so I'm gonna start on this side over here. So this is the gap you need to leave open. And I'm gonna use a 1/2 centimeter of seam allowance. You can see here the marks from 1 centimeter, 1.5 and 2 centimeters. And I know that this edge for my sewing foot is 1/2 centimeter. So I'm gonna make sure that the fabric is edged along this black side over here. So I'm gonna sew along all the edges. So I'm here at the last point, so I need to leave this open. So and let's cut the yarn. And also on this side I need to cut the yarn's edges, and then remove the pins. And now what we need to do is all the corners we need to cut off. Don't cut into the sewn part over here, just right before that, just cut your edges. And now we're gonna take your squares and turn it inside out. And I like to use my pair of scissors to push out the corners. Make sure the edges are also nice and flat. So I'm going to use my pair of scissors to push out the sides also. You can also take your ironing board and your iron and just pressure it with your ironing board, but I like to do it this way. Okay, so all the edges are out and the sides are straight. Now we need to push back and inwards the open part over here. And then I'm gonna take my pins and pin it down. I'm gonna pin all the sides too. So make sure your seams are nice and flat. Because I'm gonna make one more seam at the outside so everything is nice and secured. Before we're gonna crochet onto the square. Okay, so it's like this, and I'm gonna make one more seam. Okay, on top of the square, so the hole is closed and there's a nice seam. I'm going to use a 1/2 centimeter seam allowance again. So cut off your yarn close to the fabric. And then your fabric square is done, and now we can just go over and make a line over here with some crochet yarn, and then we're going to crochet along the edges. Okay, so now I'm going to take my yarn. I've got a sharp needle and my crochet hook. This is a 2.5 millimeter that fits this yarn, and I've got a piece of paper, and the square is 9 centimeters, and we did a 1/2 centimeter seam allowance, so seam, so the inside should be measuring approximately 8 centimeters. Well, it's not just, I didn't really, well, it's kind of like this, so it should be 8 centimeters approximately from one side to the other side. So what I'm going to do is going to place my piece of paper over here. So this is the start and this is the end, and I measured 1 centimeter in between. And then I'm gonna take I've got a, where is it? Here it is. I've got a marker, a white marker, which fades when you are, well, it just fades on your fabric. But I'm gonna mark the centimeters on my fabric, so I know where to put my needle in. I'm gonna do that to every side. Maybe you can see them pop up over here. It's not visible everywhere. Well, I'm just going to show you a little bit how to make a edge along this square. So you're gonna need a really long thread, because you're going to use up a lot of thread to make a border. So first put your thread to your needle like this. So it's a very long thread you see over here, so I like to have some more, and then cut the ends off when it's a little bit too much. Then I have not enough thread to make my border. So first we're gonna make from the back side to the front. We're gonna put the needle in through the first marker over here and just put your thread through it and leave a tail so you can weave in and knot the ends. And then I'm gonna go from the back to the front one more time in that same stitch to secure the thread or the yarn. Like this. So now we're gonna go into this mark over here, just 1 centimeter apart, and then just take your yarn and put it around your needle, and just, well, because the yarn is so long, it's sometimes difficult to make it like this. So now you can see it's like this, but you need to make sure it's a square. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our crochet hook, and from the top to the back we're gonna grab that tail and pull it through that loop you just made, and now you can see it's a square. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is, again, in the next marker from the front to the back, put your needle through your fabric and make sure your yarn is around that needle and pull it tight. Don't pull it too tight or your fabric will be crooked. If you have, well, this is very thick fabric, but if you have like thin cotton, then your work will be crooked, so that's not nice. So in the next marker from the back, if you find it difficult to do it like this, then just first put your needle through your fabric and then come over to the front with your needle and go into that loop you just made, and then you have the same stitch you can see over here. Well, now my yarn is in a knot, so bear with me. Yeah, okay. So now we're gonna go to a corner, and in that corner we're gonna do the same. But you need to do this 3 times because you need to make 1 stitch over here for this side, and we need to make 1 more stitch to make the corner. So in that corner, again, put your needle in there and your yarn around the needle and pull it tight. Now you just made just 1 piece of the corner, and now we're gonna make 1 more time the stitch in this corner to make the stitch over here. Like this. So you've got your stitch here and then your corner and then a stitch on this side. Now go over to the next marker and do the same. I'm going to repeat this for all the sides. And if you find it difficult to see where you need to put your stitches in, you can also do it like this. So here's the next one. And the next one. And I like to put them close to the sewn edge. My yarn is so long that it gets into a knot every time. So this is what you want to do for the rest of your square. Just make the border. And into these loops over here, we're gonna do the crochet stitches. I'm gonna show you the border one more time, or the corner one more time. So you can see where do I put the stitches in. So here's one more stitch before I'm into the corner. And now you have to make 3 times this stitch in the corner. So 1 stitch that's on this side in that corner, do it 1 more time to make that corner. And 1 more time to make the stitch on the next side of your square. So it has to be like this. So just do this for the rest of your square and tie the edges over here, tie the ends over here, and then I'll show you how you can crochet into these stitches. So it's finished. I secured the tails and I'm gonna crochet over them so that I don't have to weave in the ends. So let's grab the yarn and my crochet hook, and first, well, I'm gonna start over here, put my hook through this loop over here, or this stitch, grabbing my yarn, leaving a tail so I can weave in the ends later. Pull the yarn through that stitch and chain 3. My squares will be having just double crochets, but you can just choose whatever stitches you want on your square. You can also make some single crochets or make make a double crochet, chain 1 double crochet, or just figure out what you like for your square. But I'm gonna do 3 double crochets in the stitch with chain 1 in between them. So this chain 3 counts as a double crochet, so I'm gonna make 2 more double crochet in the same stitch. And now chain 1 and go over to the next stitch, and I'm gonna make 3 double crochets again. And I'm gonna make a chain 1 again. So just figure out what you like for your square. You can just do whatever I'm doing, or find a stitch that you like in a square. And now for the edges over here, the tails, I'm gonna just crochet along them. So in the next stitch over here, and just leave the yarn over the stitch and make my double crochet. Chain 1, and just in every stitch make 3 double crochets and a chain 1. I'm going to show you how to do the corners when I'm done with this side. Sometimes you need to have the tails put down with your finger so you can crochet easier in your stitches. And you see you don't have to weave in the ends right now. So now you can see I'm at the corner. These corners have two stitches to crochet in. So first I'm gonna make 3 double crochets in that first piece of the corner. And now you need to decide how many chains you want in your corner. I like 2 chains, but you can also make 3 chains if you like that. But just if you make 2 chains, make it on every corner, and if you make 3 chains, make it also 3 chains in every corner. So now I'm going to go to the second part of the corner, and in this stitch I'm going to make 3 double crochets. And again chain 1. And so now for the rest of this square I'm gonna make 3 double crochets in every stitch, and I'm gonna make 3 double crochets in the corner with a chain 2. So over here I'm gonna make 3 double crochets over here, chain 2, and in the second part of the corner make 3 double crochets, and then chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, etc. So just continue this for the rest of your square. Until you're at the end of the row. And here we'll make your last 3 double crochets over here, chain 1, and then in the top of your chain 3, so 1, 2, 3, in the top of there you're gonna make a slip stitch, and then you can cut your yarn and weave in the ends. And if you want some more rows you can attach, or you can make a slip stitch, and if you want to make the granny stripe then you're gonna slip stitch all over to that first chain 1 space, and then make 3 double crochets over here, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain space, etc. But you can just make any kind of stitch you want in your stitches over here you just made with your yarn and your needle. So this is just explaining how you can add some crochet borders or crochet edges or some crochet stuff onto some fabric. So I'm gonna do this off camera, and I'll show you how you can show you one way how you can attach your squares to each other. Okay, I've got 2 squares done now, and I'm going to show you how you can attach those squares, and I'm going to show you just one way, but there are more ways to just join them. But first I'm going to take my yarn, and then I'm going to start at one corner, and I'm going to take my yarn, pull it through that corner, and then I'm going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, now I'm gonna go over to the other square into that corner too, and I'm gonna make a slip stitch. So I'm gonna put my hook through that corner of the other square, grab the yarn, pull it through that stitch and to the loop on my hook. Now chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna make some kind of a zigzag. So we're gonna attach it on both squares, so I'm gonna zigzag a little bit. So first we're gonna turn our work a little bit, and we're gonna grab that first stitch over here, that's chain 1 space, and then put the hook through that chain 1 space, and then sorry, sometimes the beginning is also it's a little bit difficult. So I'm gonna grab my square and that chain 1 space over here, and I'm gonna make a slip stitch, and then chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to turn my work again, so I'm going to go over to the next side of the other square. But now you can see here's the corner, and we're going to skip that first chain 1 space. So in the next chain 1 space, put your hook through that stitch and make a slip stitch. Now chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn your work again. And now you can see that we made that slip stitch over here. Now skip one chain 1 space, in the next chain 1 space make a slip stitch. And then chain 6. And then again on the other side you need to skip just one chain 1 space. So here's your last one, skip one chain 1 space, and in the next chain 1 space make a slip stitch, and just continue this for the rest of your row until you are at a corner. So chain 6, go over to the other side, skip one chain 1 space, and the next one make a slip stitch. Chain 6, go over to the other side, and you can see here's your last one, so skip one, and in the next chain 1 space make a slip stitch. Chain 6, turn your work, well, not turn your work, but just go over to the other side, skip one chain 1 space, and the next one make a slip stitch. Chain 6, and on the other side skip a chain 1 space, and the next one make a slip stitch. Chain 6, and now you can see we are almost at the corner. So here's your last slip stitch, just skip one, and in the next one make a slip stitch. And then chain 6, go over to the other side. You can see now we are at the corner, so here's your last chain 1 space, skip one, and in the next, that's the corner, make a slip stitch. Chain 6, and now we're going to attach this corner. So go over to the corner on the other side and make a slip stitch. So if you are having more squares you want to attach, then don't attach this corner, but go over to the next corner of your next square. So if you have another square over here, go over to the next corner and make the zigzag all along, and then when you are done at your row, then make your attaching your next corner on top of the other square. And now chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now I hope you can see it. We need to attach it zigzagging all the way back. So here's your chain 1 space, you're gonna attach this chain 6, and then over here and over here and over here. So you're gonna zigzag all the way back. Chain 6, and I'll go over to the other side. You can see that chain 1 space over here, make a slip stitch. I'm gonna do this until I'm at the end. I'm gonna show you how to and this row. So I made my second last slip stitch with chain 6, and you can see, I hope you can see it, that it's just crisscross along the sides of the square. So I made my last slip stitch on this side, and now I'm gonna make the last one in this corner. So we started in this corner and we're gonna end in this corner. So I made my chain 6, and now I'm gonna slip stitch in this corner, and I already cut my yarn, and I'm gonna take this yarn and put it through the loop on my hook, and all I need to do is just weave in the ends, and then the 2 squares are attached. And the best way is to, I used cotton yarn, so the best way is to block your work, so the joint pieces over here will be laying more flat, and it will be looking nicely, because this is not a very nice look. So if you are blocking your work, it will be more beautiful. And if you have more squares, you can just make just one side and then just go back, and then just turn your work and attach these sides on this side here. So I hope I explained it well. So this is what I want to show you. You can also just make one square with a nice border around it and use it as a cup holder, so you can place your cup of tea or coffee or whatsoever onto your fabric with a nice crochet border around it. So you could do a lot of things with your fabric and crocheted square. So well, this is it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and put on a notification so you get a message when I uploaded a new video. And well, I just wish you happy crocheting and hope to see you next time. Bye bye.